Well, hello everyone, and here we are, back after the international break. Welcome to the Football Overseas channel, where we're back looking forward across the board now to the weekend of football worldwide. And we are here to look at the game week 5 for La Liga. So let's have a look what happened just before, fortunately a fortnight ago now, before we had that break. Just to reflect the impact of the results on the league table. I'm sure those who follow the La Liga avidly are fully aware that Barcelona have gone off like an absolute train, putting 7 past Real Valladolid in a quite mesmerising win just before the break. So that's given them the perfect hand so far of 4 wins, 4 games, 13 goals scored, 3 against, 12 points. And they're sitting very pretty at the top. Although their nearest and dearest have just crept up into second place. We'll look at how they got on as we go through this week's fixtures. But they had 2 draws, as you remember, in their first 3 matches. But they've picked up the points now and scored a few goals, and they're up into second place with 8. And then really everybody else is completely sandwiched in that congested middle area, as it always is at this time of the year. And I think I've said a couple of times already, it's just a bit of fun to be looking at the league tables now. But obviously there are familiar names already. 2 Madrid teams and Barcelona holding 3 of the 4 spots. And interestingly, only 2 teams out of the current top 7 actually won in the last fixtures. That's how much the tables shuffle around at this time of year, because 3 points does have an impact, as we all know. So let's get into it then. So game week 5 is across Friday and across until Monday. So Friday the 13th of September across to Monday the 16th. We have the 10 fixtures to go through. And as I say, it all starts on Friday night with Real Betis against Leganés. And Leganés here, they lost to Mallorca, but only by 1-0. They're having a decent start, having come up last year. So they're still waving their flag. 9th place, as I say. Positions are a bit hazy at the moment, aren't they? But they're holding their own. Just the 1 loss. They'll be pleased with that in the first sector before we went into the international break. Of course, frustratingly, we only go a few weeks and we have another one. But that's the nature of this time of the year, as we all know. So they're playing Real Betis, who came up against Real Madrid in the last round of matches and went down 2-0 in the Bernabeu. So Real Betis, of course, is still a game behind. So they're just above the relegation, so haven't yet won, but they are a game behind, which they will make up next week. And we'll talk about all of that next week. There's games in hand to be made up there. So I think Real Betis will pick up a point, though, at home to Leganés. And I think both sides will be quite happy with that. Well, perhaps not so much Betis, as they need to get a home win under their belts. But I'm going for Real Betis 1, Leganés 1. Then we've got 4 games on Saturday, all at different kickoff times. I won't rattle those kickoff times to you. But, yeah, they're all at different times. It's made for TV, isn't it, all of this? And the first of those is Mallorca versus Villarreal. And, as I say, Mallorca had a decent win against Leganés last time out. Villarreal but enabled Valencia to pick up their first point. Valencia, bottom of the table at the moment, with 3 losses, and they say they stopped the rot with that 1-1 draw. But I think Villarreal will pick up the win here. Mallorca, yeah, they're doing okay. They've had a decent start. They picked up 5 points. They'd be happy with that return, I would have thought. But I'm going to go Mallorca 1, Villarreal 2. Then the second of Saturday's matches is Espanyol against Deportivo Alaves. And Espanyol had a decent win against Real Vallecano, and Deportivo came up trumps 2-0 against Las Palmas. So Deportivo now starting to just move a little bit. They've gone slowly up the graph. They started with a loss and a draw, now 2 wins. So their graph is going in the right direction. So they're in 6th place as we speak, and I think they'll pick up the win here too. I'm going to go Espanyol 1, Deportivo Alaves 3 in that one. That takes us on to Sevilla against Getafe. And Sevilla had a loss to Girona. Girona's just starting to make their mark, and they'll want to do that after their efforts, their excellent efforts last year. They won't want to let that be a bit of a one-season flush in the pan. And Getafe played out a lesser spotted so far recently, in this league anyway, a 0-0 draw against Real Sociedad. So there we go. I think Sevilla will pick up the win here. Although they haven't had a win yet, they've drawn, lost. They really do need to get going. And there's a chance here against Getafe, who also haven't won, but they haven't lost either because they've drawn all 3 fixtures so far. So we shall see. I'm going to go for a sneaky home win. Just to edge it. Sevilla 2, Getafe 1. Okay, that takes us on to the 2 Reals. Real Sociedad against Real Madrid on Saturday night. As I say, Real Madrid had a decent and pretty sound 2-0 victory over Real Betis in the Bernabeu last time out, and Real Sociedad drew 0-0 with Getafe. So I'm going to go for Real Madrid to stamp their authority once again on this one, I think. They won't want to be. They're 4 points behind Barcelona. Not matters after 4 matches, but they won't want to let that gap start to grow at all. So I'm going to go for Real Sociedad 1, Real Madrid 3. So we go to the second half of the weekend, and that takes us into Sunday, and 4 games again on Sunday. Again, all different kickoff times. And we start with Celta de Vigo against Real Valladolid. And Real Valladolid, of course, feeling sorry for themselves a little bit after a 7-0 trouncing, really, against Barcelona. So I think Barcelona sort of gave them a bit of a football lesson. I think Celta de Vigo will also come up trumps as well. They've had the most entertaining games so far, 19 goals in their 4 matches, so almost 5 a game. And I think there'll be a few more here. So I'm going to go Celta de Vigo 3, Real Valladolid 1. I don't see any joy for Real Valladolid in this match, I'm afraid. A bit of work to do there, but they've got a few points on the board, so they can time to recover, of course. Then we have Sevilla, we don't. We have Girona against Barcelona. So as I say, Barcelona fresh from their 7-0 home win. Girona are starting to make their move. They had a draw and a loss first up matches, and then they've had 2 decent wins, including a 2-0 win against Sevilla last time out. And I think Girona will find Barcelona a tough nut to get any points from in this match. Obviously, Barcelona's run is going to, assume was going to come unstuck at one point, at some point. These leagues in Europe, these elite leagues in Europe, are very hard to go on a real streak. But I think they will go the nap hand, as we say, and they will get their 5th win. And I'm going to go Girona 1, Barcelona 2. Then we have Las Palmas against Athletic Club. And Las Palmas suffered defeat against Deportivo Alaves. I say they're starting to move. And Athletic Club lost 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. So Las Palmas in the bottom 3 at the moment. Drawn, lost, no wins yet. There's 5 teams at the bottom that haven't had a win yet. They need to break those ducks soon before the pressure starts to build. This is the middle sector now of the sort of autumn season. It really is a big one for a lot of teams, important one. However, I think Athletic Club will take it in a gritty sort of a game. Not much in it. I'm going to go Las Palmas 0, Athletic Club 1. 2 to go on game week 5, and the first of those 2 is Atletico Madrid against Valencia. As I say, Valencia disappointing me immensely at the moment. Bottom of the table. They've really got to start to put points on the board. 3 losses. They did stop that rot, if you like, with a 1-1 draw, as I say, against Villarreal. Atletico Madrid had a win against Athletic Club, as we just mentioned. So I think Valencia's troubles will still continue in this match. I think Atletico Madrid are going to show a little bit of form. They're in third place. They want to keep on the heels of the top two and chase that. But they're all chasing down Barcelona as we speak. But such a long way to go. So I'm going to go Atletico Madrid 2, Valencia 0. I think there's just too much in that match. So that closes off Sunday. Then we got one match left on Monday night, which is the 16th. And it's the final match of game week 5. It's Real Vallecano against Osasuna. Osasuna had a good win, actually, against Celta de Vigo. 3-2. Entertaining match. As I say, Celta Vigo's matches have all been entertaining so far. And Real Vallecano lost to Espanyol, as we mentioned a little earlier on. So both these sides, Osasuna on the back of a decent win, just nudging their way into that top section, top 7, and Real Vallecano will want to get at least a point here, and I think that's what will happen. Again, I'm going to go quite an entertaining game to finish off game week 5. I'm going to go Real Vallecano 2, Osasuna 2. So there we have it. Another exciting La Liga weekend, I am sure. Obviously, the big two are now have nudged their way at the top, but it's up to the other teams now to make their mark and say, "Hang on, let's roll our sleeves up and knuckle down and get this league underway properly." It's always difficult to judge too much form at the moment, really, but you can see some little flags waving in the wind. Barcelona looking strong. Valencia, surprisingly, propping everything up at the moment with just that single point gained in their last match. So there we have it. Everything is back on. The football is back. Let's enjoy this sporting weekend, this football weekend. As I say, please get your friends and family involved in this excellent channel. Get them to watch all the other videos that I'll put on here. It's a wide variety of football and other sports. So there we have it. I will see you again early on next week, because it's a very odd, slight fixture list next week. We have 3 games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, single games on those nights. 1 or 2 playing catch-up, I think. And then we go in on Friday to game week 6. So I'll be doing the 3 sort of catch-up matches. Then we go into game week 6. And we'll see then, hopefully, so we'll start to see some real trends established in the table. Having said all that, that's me. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon.